please give it up for Joe Gagliardi. I think I got that right.
Hey guys, how you doing? Nobody saw me trip over that speaker, right? No, of course not. We'll strike that from the video. Clap it up for yourselves, guys, for coming out to support live local comedy. Appreciate that very much. It means a lot to us, it really does. Comedy's not an easy business. Guys, Matt Eisman is here, host of American Ninja Warrior, right? Am I the only one that gets winded just watching that show? It's really like, when I was in the Marines, there's no hooks that you have to like hang from and jump from bar to bar in the Marine Corps. It's way more athletic. I look at these pictures of myself when I was in the Marine Corps and I'm like, damn, I was hot. The problem is now I look like a guy that's willing to eat a cannoli that somebody already bit into, you know what I mean? It's not, obviously I kept up with the fitness, you know what I mean? Oh, God. That's going to embarrass my wife. Why have 6 small abs, right, when one giant one will do? That's kind of my philosophy. But I like to embrace it sometimes, right? Might just sort of giving up on my health. Sometimes I like to pull a pint of Ben & Jerry's out of the fridge and just immediately throw the lid away. Like I'm in this for the long haul, you know? I'm not a quitter. Nobody likes a quitter. But all kidding aside, I'm not trying to fat shame anybody, right? Being too fat is not about how you look. It's not about how much you weigh. It's about your health, right? It's about how you feel. The reason I know I'm getting too fat at this point is I'm willing to eat food that I'm not 100% sure I dropped, right? It's sad but true. If I'm, you're sitting, you're watching some TV late night, you see a Cheeto poking through a couch cushion, it's like, well, there's no mold on it. I'll roll those dice, people. Joey wants a Cheeto. What am I gonna do? Get up, go downstairs, go to the cabinet, get some Cheetos, go back upstairs? What's the point of that? Even if there is mold on it, you think I made it through the Marine Corps with no penicillin? I don't think so. Oh, God. So happy holidays to everybody. Holidays are coming up. I went to Walmart recently. I bought one of those 7-foot inflatable Santas. You guys seen those? So I get it home. I put it out on the porch. I inflate it. And it turns out he's black. And I'm not. So I thought to myself, this is a bit of a dilemma. All my neighbors are black. So I thought I could just leave it up. And every time I'm out walking the dog, be like, yo, Chris. Right? But then I thought to myself, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. How am I going to explain that to the neighbors? The problem comes in if I return it. I don't really have a solid answer for, sir, what was the problem with the item? So now we have a black Santa on our front porch. Oh, God. I thought about, when I get to the counter at Walmart, I thought about messing with the lady, and when they say, what's the problem with it? I say, no, I meant to get the Asian one. And then we'll see who's woke. So I'll leave you guys with this. I have 2 pro tips. I got married about a year ago. Thanks very much. Yep. It was a good time. Had to happen eventually. So I'll leave you with this. I got 2 pro tips. I got one for the ladies, I got one for the fellas, okay? I'll start with the ladies. Ladies, I see a lot of you, odds are every woman in here is making the same mistake, right? And I see a lot of these young single women trying to find love, and they're making the same mistake. Ladies, it's your smells. I'm not saying you smell bad. Generally, you smell like flowers, and that's fantastic. But have you ever been walking with a man, and he stops and goes, honey, there's magnolias around. Marry me. Right? It's not going to happen. I want to tell you right now, you get any man in this room within 100 yards of some grilling meat, like you see where I'm going with it, right? It's like boners, salivation, the whole 9 yards. It's game over. So before you go out, grab a steak, rub it all over yourself. I promise you, you'll attract some men, no question about that. Maybe not the men you want, but you'll attract men. The last pro tip I have is for the fellas. So fellas, we all know that our ladies have a show that they like to watch that we can't stand, right? Like in my house, it's the Great British Bake Off. You ever seen this show? It's like every time. There was a guy, I went to the Iraq War twice. I saw a grown man on that show talk about how he cried for 4 straight days because his souffle collapsed. I can't get behind that. Every time my wife puts it on, it's like, please, somebody just crash a plane into this house. absolutely terrible. So here's what you do, fellas, all right? Here's how you get out of watching that show with your lady that you can't stand to watch, right? You find a woman on the show that your lady doesn't like. And there's going to be a woman on the show that she doesn't like. You know what I'm saying? So every time something good happens to that woman or that woman does something good, you whisper gently, lovingly, just loud enough for your lady to hear, good for her. You'll be watching sports in your man cave so fast, I promise you that. The ASAP folks have my email address. You can thank me after the show. Thanks very much, guys. That's my time. I'm Joe Gagliardi. Thank you.